Hey, hey, how's everything going? How's everything going, everybody? Ah, everything going good for everybody? Oh, there we go. All right. Ah, as always, uh, JR here back with our continuation of our long, winding road. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Try. I'm doing good. Thank you very much for asking. Doing good. Um, but continuing our little winding road through the rest of our Life is Strange tier list here. We got uh, well, we finished off the True Colors characters yesterday. Well, not yesterday. During the last video. In the last video, we finished off the True Colors characters, and we uh, finished off the Life is Strange 2 characters. So all we have left primarily is a little bit of the double exposure characters, and then more of the nitty gritty of some of the more main characters. Even though we did Sean and Daniel uh, in one of the other videos, and that definitely went on for a minute because there was a lot to say there. Hey, hey! Oh no, you're not. You're not late. We're just about getting into. Yes, yes, yes. We do. We but yeah, that it's those videos of why as I said, I leave some of the main characters for last, because as we saw with the Sean and Daniel video, woo, that breakdown and that discussion lasted a hot minute. From the also, to be clear about some of the other stuff during that particular breakdown, uh, I believe it was Wednesday. I believe the last stream was Wednesday. Um, but yeah, pretty sure Wednesday. But um, let me see. B- Bow, you're talking about playing football, that you're thinking of quitting playing football. I think is oh, okay, all right. Just making sure I'm getting what you're saying. Any any particular reason exactly why you want to quit. But yeah, as Try said, I obviously do have high a lot of strong opinions about how Life is Strange 2 was handled. Oh yeah, about I hear you. Sometimes you have to put yourself first in in certain situations, especially if especially if what you're doing is like starting to affect, negatively affect yourself. Then it's usually, a good idea to be like, I need to take a step back and I need to reassess uh reassess my situation and figure some things out and then go from there. It's always a good idea to, reevaluate what's going on with yourself every now and then. Exactly, Bao. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, your mental state. Like if it's really like affecting yourself in a very negative way, then it's always a good idea to be like, I need to take a step back and I need to take some me time and, you know, get everything back on track. Exactly, Try. Exactly. Um but yeah. Uh so since we did our gigantic dissertation and stuff on Daniel at this point, uh and broke down the whole uh the the emotional manipulation, but I will, you know, every like just the whole point with the whole dog of that forced manipulation. life Life is Strange too, goddamn Daniel. that I think I think you used that title last time. I think you used that one during that video. um Well, Bao, at least in the last game, I guess at least the team scored at some point at least. At least that's the bright side on that one. At least some points were made. But but yes, emotional manipulation is a thing. Uh Emotional manipulation is a thing, cuz let's be fair and we call a spade a spade. Gabe's whole thing in True Colors is is obviously, you know, emotional manipulation. Ethan himself with what the Ethan goes through. Pretty much everything that happens with Chloe in the original game. Uh, the main difference there is you have to earn those moments. You have to build up to those moments so that way they don't feel like you're just trying to get to that emotion without earning it. And that's pretty much what the dog was. Oh, and by the way, uh, the dog did have a name, and the dog was named Mushroom. So that goes to show you how far they went with the whole thing. They give the dog a name. The dog wears a nice little like a do rag around its neck. The You play with the dog a lot towards the end of the first episode when you're at the motel, and then during pretty much the whole beginning part when you're in the abandoned little shack training Daniel and just chilling. So yeah, they really force you uh, to like bond with the dog just to kill off the dog. And it's like, bruh, at the very least, you could have kept the dog around, have the dog go with you to your grandparents' house, and when shit goes down at your grandparents' house, just have the grandparents keep the dog and look after the dog. Like, why did you just have to kill the dog for no reason? It's like somebody got bored with the dog and was like, "All right, I'm bored writing stuff for this dog. Let me just kill it off so I don't have to deal with it again." Uh, but in any case, let's see. Who will we start with? All right. Well, we have three characters that I'm looking at to finish off the uh, double exposure characters. So, we will start with. But then they can't inflict a needless emotional trauma. Yeah. Yeah. Or, you know, if you were gonna kill the dog off at some point, why didn't you just have the dog like around for a longer period? Like usually if you know you're gonna kill off a character, like spend enough time with them so that way it doesn't feel so forced. Um let's see. So we got So let's go with because we got a couple of villains here that we need to dump in certain spots. Let's go with Lucas. Lucas Colmenero. Everybody's favorite plagiarist. So, so, uh, Lucas, he's a very. Exactly, boo Lucas. I did have I definitely did have Max boo him during the Krampus expose. I did have Max just go boo. So I did have her do that. But yeah. What's funny about that interaction too is if you actually have Max cheer during that moment, Moses will actually turn to you and like give you the stink eye, and Max's response is literally like, "What? Those are words that Maya wrote." It was like, I'm cheering her, not him. So that's kind of a funny little thing where Max kind of turns it around, which is pretty funny. Uh, so Lucas, we will. Uh, yeah, he gives her the what the fuck look without like saying anything, which is pretty funny. And Lucas, because of how egotistical he takes it as a genuine cheer, which is pretty much on brand for Lucas. So yeah, he's an egotistical asshole. Uh, his main superpower is he really is an expert at gaslighting the fuck out of people. So so we will give Lucas a. I would feel bad because he technically does kind of almost redeem himself towards the end, a little bit. He kind of redeems himself a little bit. Once you expose him at the Krampus party with his plagiarism and all that stuff, I wouldn't really put him in F tier. Mainly because everyone else that's in F tier. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Josephine, how's it going? Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, it's definitely a lot. To give good. Yeah, to give you an idea, this is pretty much all the characters we've done so far. So, yeah. And then we got these characters left. Um, I am hesitant to put. Yeah, I know, right? Uh, and technically, because we're only counting, because we only count. Uh, we're only counting characters that are. Uh, that are pretty much like uh main supporting characters that are significant enough that you interact with, where they are involved in the plot in some way. Like there's a lot of like ancillary characters that really don't really mean anything. So we don't really include those characters. Let's see. I think I'm gonna put him in C tier. I think I think I'm gonna actually hold on. Since 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 Try and Josephine are here, where oh excuse me, where would you guys rank Lucas? Where would you two rank Lucas? Because now, okay, hold on. Keep in mind, On the F tier. Oh, okay. On the F tier. Keep in mind, on the F tier, we have a, and I'm gonna point them out, a racist bigot bitch who sniped a little kid in the shoulder, a stinky vagina cult lady who was heavily manipulating and gaslighting a little kid to perform miracles so she could make a bunch of money off of dumbass people. A rich asshole father who, because of how much pressure and stuff that he puts on his family name, neglects his son's issues and his very apparent mental issues that he should be dealing with. He totally avoids them, and his son ends up doing a lot of really, really, really bad things. And then we have a dad that conspires to manipulate a murder. Oh yeah, definitely. We'll Josephine, take care of what you gotta do. We'll probably be here by the time you get back, so no need to rush. He is the reason a student died. He mentored her just to rob her of her story, and she died as a result. Well, to be fair, she did kill herself. But yes, he is, but technically also, he is not the sole person responsible for that. I think we have another person that we still haven't ranked on this list that also has a hand in that. And technically we ranked a couple of other people that are also involved in that whole thing. So Lucas is definitely... Lucas was definitely the catalyst, but not entirely the one that was able to pull everything off. Like, Lucas clearly had to have help to pull off what he did. And technically, he did have help. He had Gwen, he had Vin, he had, most importantly, Yasmin. So there was a lot of people involved that pushed Lucas into where he wound up. So if all those other people weren't helping him, then it's very possible that he most likely would have never gotten away with the plagiarism and stuff that he was able to get away with for as long as he got away with it. So I will put him... Oh, this is tough. Yeah, he was the inciting incident. You know what? I'll put him. I'll put him below Stinky Vagina Lady. Because, uh, actually, okay, because now that I'm looking at them, these two are kind of similar. Because both of them are profiting off of a big lie. Because now that I'm looking at both of them, these two are very similar because they're both profiting off of a lie, and they're gaslighting the hell out of a lie, and they just keep that going. Technically, both of them do get exposed in the end. Except Lucas's is obviously way more public. Lisbeth was all pretty much in private. Like nobody there was there to witness anything that was happening there. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we could keep him there. I guess we can keep him there. Speaking of accomplices, let's go with Yasmin. Yasmin, where are we gonna put Safi's mom, Yasmin? Because technically, Lucas is the one that pretty much blows the whistle on Yasmin being the main conspirator in this whole thing. Mainly because she did not like the relationship that Safi and Maya had, which is also one of the things that Double Exposure doesn't really go into, is why did Yasmin not like Maya? Like, they never really go into that, which is really disappointing, because I'm like, oh, that's a very interesting thing that I wish you would have delved into, because it would definitely help with Yasmin's motivations for her, for what she was doing, which is weird. I'm kind of glad Safi shot her. She put the success of a teacher over her daughter's best friend / lover. As far as Safi's sexuality goes, I oh, okay, and then you say, yes, they only say I was trying to protect you and doesn't give us more than that. Yeah, like from what I gather with Yasmin's thing is her overprotectiveness with Safi is because of her falling out with Safi's father, which yet again is another thing that double exposure just leaves hanging there and doesn't really go into is, okay, what was the deal with the dad? Like, what 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 was with the dad uh that fractured Yasmin and him's relationship? Like what happened there? And Safi seems to be she was kind of close to her dad, because she does kind of mention like how fucked up it is that she doesn't let Safi like see her father or anything. So it's like there's a lot that could be there, but it's like we're never really told. Like, it's just hinted at, and there's no real thing going on there. And because of whatever happened between them is why Yasmin is kind of protective of her, because she doesn't want, because she even says it when Safi has her held up with a gun, that she doesn't want her to go through the same things that Yasmin has experienced. Which is like, okay, fair enough. But you're also at the same time not really even giving examples of what you really experienced. So it's like you're giving me these statements of some bad things happen to you, but you're not really elaborating on what that technically was. Okay, so Try writes, well, I mean, Safi wrote an entire book about Maya, and Gwen referred to Maya as Safi's soulmate, so maybe they weren't lovers, maybe I ship it, but I always got the the vibe from Safi, uh, but then again, I always go for Chloe, Rachel, Steph, and Amanda. Hell, I even put Aloy and Soka together. But writing an entire book feels more than just friends. It can be, but yet again, it's one of those things that double exposure doesn't really elaborate on. Like, we know at the very least that Safi is is into guys because she had a relationship with Vin for however long that went for. Uh, and there's also some weird potential innuendo maybe to Max, but mostly the only reason Safi kind of gives those vibes to Max towards the end of the game is only because she knows Max has superpowers now. So that's kind of a, I don't know, maybe she's trying to play the the seductress role. I don't know. right. They leave it up to the player, like the more than just photos happening in the dark room. Yeah. Uh, the main thing with the the main thing with the dark room though is that all the pictures is thankfully all the pictures that we see in the dark room, everyone still has their clothes on. So like we never see anyone in like underwear or something, let's say. Like everyone is still in their like full clothes. So at least there's that. Um but yeah. Ooh. But yeah, Yasmin, she's let's see. Where would y'all put Yasmin? Where do y'all think Yasmin should go? They don't outright say that more happened, but you it always felt like more was going on than we were told. Just like with Maya and Safi. Low C, yeah, that's also kind of how I'm feeling. That is technically how I'm feeling about her. Because with her, I don't feel extremely strongly one way or the other with her. Mainly because there's not enough in the game to get me one way or the other. Because a lot of what goes on with Yasmin is a lot of suggested stuff and not enough like concrete things that we could point to and be like, okay, this, and this. There's too much things with her that is suggested and not actually uh like factually stated. And the information is not really given. It almost kind of feels like double exposure may have been rushed at certain points. Uh, Yaz didn't lead to the death of Maya, but she did organize the cover up. Even if her intentions were good, she did the wrong thing for the right reason. But she does set Max up at the Hallerden house, so I can't be super mad at that. Um, I wouldn't necessarily say her intentions were good. Her whole thing with the cover up, for me, I think her intentions with the cover up was she wanted to keep the reputation of the school intact. Like she didn't want the school to get caught up in a scandal. So I believe that was also her motivation. Welcome back, Bao. Hopefully your shower was nice and refreshing. Um, but yeah, Yasmin technically technically everyone involved in the cover-up and conspiracy does shoulder some of the responsibility of Maya committing suicide. So, so that whole thing is on Lucas. It's on Gwen. It's on Yasmin. It's on Vin. And technically, it's also on Safi too. Because the whole point of why Safi wants to expose this cover-up so badly is because she wants like some like to kind of like make up for not doing doing anything for Maya when she was around. Uh, but yes, try yes. Uh, so Try says, yeah, she wanted to avoid the scandal, but wanted to protect Safi to whatever extent that was. Um, so I'm unclear how much Gwen was involved just because she was mad at me from the jump. So I never got to find out Gwen's involvement. Uh, but well, as far as uh, you go, Bao, um, if you know, if you feel that, I don't know if you feel that, I guess your teammates most likely are, you know, gonna probably take it very negatively. Um, as far as your family goes, I don't know. Do you if you feel that, uh, like how your family might uh, take it, but at the end of the day, uh, it's your decision, and if it's something that you've thought about, and it's something that you really feel is right for yourself, then like go for it. If it's something you feel is right for you, then go for it. I would hope that um that your family and your teammates would be understanding and supportive. I would hope. But then again, for me, that's a hard thing to judge. When you don't actually, uh, know these people. But I'm pretty sure you'll make it through. Like, especially if it's like Try said, if it's very noticeable, if it's something that's noticeable that you know, it's affecting you in a very negative way, then, you know, I'm pretty sure uh, I would hope that they would, you know, support you and care enough to be like, you know, if this is uh, going to help you move in a more positive direction, then I would hope that, you know, they would all be supportive of that. But as far um, as far as Gwen's uh oh uh, when oh excuse me Ooh. When was if you don't mind me asking, when was the last time that they've checked up on you? Ooh. Uh, well, that is not good. That would not that that wouldn't be a close friend for me. Because usually when when I think of a close friend, especially if they oh excuse me, hold on. Oh shoot. Oh, what happened there? That was not necessarily what I wanted to do. Up there you go. Oh, okay. There you go. Okay, I thought something got messed up there. Yeah, exactly. 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 Try was pretty ahead of me on that one. See that? But yeah, like Try says, uh maybe you could reach out to them and maybe talk to them about it. Cause like he said, like Try says, maybe they would say something, but they don't want to. Excuse me. Like Try says, like overstep. Because sometimes, you know, when you get when you start delving into, like, you know, more personal things, uh sometimes you know, other people are a little like hesitant. Exactly, try exactly. Cause like I've said before, like uh my friends do that do that. Ooh, excuse me. Do that for me, and I listen to them, like anytime they're going through something. I'm here to just listen if that's what, you know, if they just need somebody to talk to. Mm, that is that is definitely that is definitely a tough one. Hmm. Hmm. If yeah, yeah, I yeah, it's kind of tough. I'm trying to find the exact words that I want to say here. Yeah. Hmm. Well, hopefully the um does has the counseling been helping? because I know I've had a let me switch to a full camera for now. Because I know I've had a friend of mine, uh, technically my closest friend. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Try when those when when those types of thoughts and stuff start, creeping in, uh, that's when it's more important than ever to uh, get as as much help as you need, because once that step is taken, there is no going back after that. So don't so and that's you know never a real solution to anything. Yeah, exactly. But like it can be, you know, very um like it's always scary to put yourself out there. Like that's always a scary thing, cuz you never know what's going to happen. But it's also not uh not good to just isolate yourself either. But if you don't try to people in, then you never really know what what people are going to come to you, or are gonna that you're gonna attract and whatnot. Because everyone, like, not everyone, like, obviously, like, uh not everyone is going to like everyone, but it's still best to always try to put yourself out there and try to see the different people uh, that you can come in, because I've been in those, in not the exact situation, but when you have those people that you think should that should be there for you, but then they're kind of really not. Um, Especially when it comes to family, cause cause for me, I'm not very extremely close with a lot of my family. For me, my my friends have been more family than my actual family most of the time. Uh, and it can be uh ooh, yeah, exactly. 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 The hardships that we have in life and whatnot, like uh those type of things you have to use to you know to make yourself better and not let those difficulties bring you down. You have to use that to bring yourself up and not let it drag you down. Oh, there you go. At least you know that you gotta plan. Ooh, it's almost like we're oh oh jeez. Oh, hold up. Exactly. You got this. uh, after our after our real life uh life is strange session that we kind of went kind of just went through, but as always, even just like in the life is strange games, there is going to be there is going to be light at the end. Ooh, excuse me. But yeah, I would put her. Cause remember, even in just like even in these Life is Strange games, with all with all the superpowers and the craziness that goes on and all the dark and depressing stuff that happens, by the by the end, there is always a beacon of light and a beacon of hope just right there. Ooh, excuse me, right there, right at the end. Oh, uh, oh no, right now, uh, technically, I am actually fighting a little bit of a change of weather, like cold right now. So so yeah, that's one of the things that I'm dealing with right now. So one of the main reasons, and I'm Batman. Oh no, really. That's one of the reasons because I meant to stream on Friday. Ooh, excuse me, on Friday. But I went to my doctor on what was it, Friday morning? Because on Fridays he's open in the morning, and he gets really busy. So the best time if I need to see him, I usually get there like right before he he opens, so I can get there and come back. And while I was there, he also gave me they also gave me a flu shot at the same time, so I was like, ah. But yes, thank you Try for the well wishes. But I'll put her. Well, if you are Batman, Bao, you definitely you definitely have a lot of royalties coming your way. Yeah, of course, of course. Of course, you can't lie on the internet. Are you crazy? Every everything on the internet is true. These are not the truths that you're looking for. But to uh, eh, I'll put her. There you go. So yeah, we'll put Yasmin in C tier. I think that's fine. I think that should be well enough for her to be in C tier. And since we're on Yasmin, let's move on over to her daughter, Safi. So, so where? Super Safi. Damn, Yasmin just slightly worse than Daniel, the cause of all trouble and frustration in Life is Strange 2. Well, as I said, the main redeeming quality for Daniel is he was not a piece of shit in that whole last episode. If it wasn't for that last episode definitely helped his reputation. So so there's that. The Magneto of the Life is Strange series. Well, technically Daniel is stronger than Magneto because he doesn't need specifically metal to move things. Technically, Daniel can move anything. So, so I believe he got Magneto beat in that respect. So Safi, where are we feeling about Safi? Oh, oh, you mean Safi is Magneto? Uh, yeah. Well, because of the building of the superheroes team thing. Yeah. And Max is Charles. And Max would be Charles Xavier, yes. What would be a really messed up thing for Life is Strange 2 fans is if Safi is going to be like the recruiter that she does actually find the other like superpowered like people in the Life is Strange series, if she comes across Daniel at some point and she kind of turns him into her like weapon of mass destruction or something. uh, yeah, Moses can technically would be the beast equivalent because he is the scientist, like the genuine scientist in the group. So that definitely would fit. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, Safi would gaslight the shit out of Daniel. But as I said with Life is Strange 2, it would be weird how they would uh even incorporate any characters from there, considering all the various different endings that you can do, and depending on where on what ending you're getting, like we saw during the Daniel breakdown, you could go all the way into 2033. So that is like way farther in, like the farthest point in the timeline. So where would we even be? Yes, and exactly. Chloe would be the Phoenix, because she literally is a Phoenix. She fucking dies and resurrects like several times. uh, but let's see. There is one sticking point though. Well, actually, there's several sticking points with Safi that make Safi pretty problematic. uh, let's see. There is. Let's change this. There we go. That way I can see better. No, that is not what I want. Well, one, I need to zoom in. There we go. Oh yeah, she definitely is. She definitely created way more problems than she fixed. Yeah, that is so true. Uh, specifically with her, there is. Where is it? You do have. What was it? The beginning of chapter 4. This is when I was checking on the cat, making sure the cat was okay. After the whole Safi breaking into the house bit. A little fun fact about the cats in the cat DLCs in the cat DLC. The names of the cats that you choose, that you can choose in the DLC, are all exactly. They're all named after Hannah Tell's like real cats. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're all her cats. She actually did a promotional video where she actually like I believe she actually like had her cats around her or something. She did some like promo video with the cats, which was pretty sweet. Oh, exactly. So you did see it, Try. You did see the video. Oh yeah, and then I did my Chloe cosplay. Um where was the line? Oh, okay. Because they you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Only, only three of her cats made the cut for the game though, which is kind of mean. Like you could have had a fourth option for like all four cats. Did they? Did they? I only remember three. Well, there you go, Bao. Looking on the bright side. Looking on the bright side there. Um. Um. Well, I'm talking about the names. I was like, did they give you four names or three names or three names? It may be four. Okay. Okay, so they did give you the four names. Yeah, sometimes the subtitles and stuff when they do the choices and stuff, sometimes they start blending into the background and sometimes you can kind of miss like certain things. So, but either way, either way, she got her cats into the game, which is pretty funny. Yeah, there you go. And then you got Safi with her Frozen reference.
Musical numbers. To answer something of hers, and then we get to get to ask the other questions until
There's
everything's all said. So
parallel to this one that I can access. I
Does she
switched that world's icy lake with our broken one.
Hang on. Parallel world?
It's the same as this one, except you're dead.
Okay.
Gonna.
To be fair, she
Yeah,
actually
that
took
one.
that a lot better than I thought she would.
This you? Were you gonna say something? Sorry.
I don't know what you're gonna.
At some
What is
point
she gonna
in
say?
the future, I think
Where is?
shoot unless I can figure out why and find a way to change things in the present. Let's come back to this. Give me the bottle cap.
Because there's a specific moment in this conversation that I'm trying to get to here. Because I know it's from when she's talking. Where is it? Yeah, not really much. Okay, here we go.
To a moment? Can you clarify? The truth is,
Here comes another unnecessary
I
line.
could rewind time. Shit. Time travel too? You're really white privileged into all the cool.
Oh, that is such.
You think
That is such.
It's cringy every time I hear it. Did we really have to have the white privilege line? Did we really have to have that? Like, come on. That was just as bad as Moses's racism line, even though he did commit a crime. And then now you got Safi with Max and the white privilege. Like, come on. Yeah, there you go. Well, there you go. This time I was ahead of you, Try. Yeah, that. Let's think about this. The only people. There's only really uh technically 3 characters. No, 4 characters. I believe it's 4. If y'all after I say these 4 names, if y'all can think of any other characters that this may apply to, but the only 4 characters I can think of that exemplify white privilege in in the entirety of the Life is Strange stuff is Victoria, Nathan, Rachel's dad, and Nathan's dad. Like that like freely wave around their white privilege everywhere. Oh no, it's fine. You're good. Uh, so those are the only 4 names that I could think of. If 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 any y'all have any other names that y'all think of, just just let me know and shout them out. In the VODs, I don't know. Put it in the comments or something if I'm missing somebody. But those are really the only four I can think of that just wave, that definitely wave the white privilege flag all over the place. What else with Safi? As far as this episode goes, not really a lot. Uh,
like these.
just for
Don't do this. Both of you. Safi, listen to me.
just so.
Something's
Oh,
happening
hold
to
on.
your powers. You're losing control. All this time I've been trying to get justice, and she's the one who's been getting in the way. Not Gwen. My own fucking mother. It was you? You canceled her book deal? The book was just her latest.
Yeah, pretty
twisted
much.
fuckery.
Lucas
She's been doing
pretty
this for
much
years.
just
Since I was a
laid
kid.
everything out
You
to her,
deserve better than what I
and everything that, the truth about everything that happened. So,
And to be fair, the only reason Lucas did that, exposed everything, is because, well, he was already exposed with what he did, so if he's going down, he's gonna take everyone else down with him that was involved. So it's like, at that point, what does Lucas care at that point? I do love how the storm's effects and stuff are done here. With the blues and the like orange, yellow, and stuff mixed in. To represent both of the timelines and stuff. Like, that's actually pretty cool. I really like that.
Sophie, remember what I told you about Arcadia Bay? About the storm? It's happening again. If we don't do something, the whole town's gonna be destroyed. And you don't want that on you. Trust me.
Max, she kept me from seeing my dad. And she made me think it was his idea. How fucked up is that?
You don't understand. This world can be so cruel.
How's this for cruel? The only time in my entire life that you were controlling me was when I wasn't even me.
Habibti. Oh my God.
Well, that goes back to the dad part. And yet again, the vagueness of what happened in that relationship to make Yasmin this much of an issue with the dad, and gaslighting to make it seem like the dad doesn't want to see Safi in the first place. Also makes it very similar to James down here with James not wanting Rachel to meet Sarah, her biological mother. So And we all found out how much of a shit show that James's whole plan on how he was even gonna go about all that really was going to be not very good, to say the least. Where's the...
Who the fuck do you think you are?
Oh, Safi's getting a nosebleed.
I'm your mother.
I really wish they
You will understand.
expanded more on
Shut up! I've done
on Safi
everything
and
for you.
her mother's relationship a little bit more.
Exactly.
Because this whole controlling aspect, first of all, we're gonna talk her down. You don't rush somebody with a fucking holding a gun like that.
Show your mom. You never needed her
But
help.
yeah, but
This isn't you,
because
Sophie.
this controlling like narrative and stuff that's happening here
Was
kind
me.
of feels like it gets like for the most part like sprung up like full force like in this moment.
Gun was the only choice I've ever really had.
Like before this, it just feels like they're like distant.
What's happening to you?
Oh shit.
Oh, there you go.
Well, at least it's just a shoulder. Could be worse.
There you go. Since Try like the little gunshot when Yasmin gets shot, I thought I might as well just play Yasmin getting shot there. And a little repeat. Boom, there you go. Right in the shoulder. Right there, right in the shoulder. Okay, and then we can move on to what was it? Chapter 5, which has its own problems.
Of this, I tried so hard to save her.
All right, so we get Safi back at the Overlook. And to be fair,
Fancy seeing you here.
Safi is very
You're okay. You're not being torn into pieces. No, not anymore.
throughout this final episode, for Double Exposure, Safi is very, how do you say? Kind of bipolar, because she really springboards from being fine and then going into like almost like a supervillain mode. And it's very, very, very weird.
Holy shit. You really did it. Weather's worse than I remember it.
Storm followed me.
So did I, apparently.
I've never done that before.
Okay.
I guess it's time.
Do you understand what you're asking me to do?
You've already done it, right? At this point, it's just recitation.
Sophia, I'm serious. This is too much.
Stop stalling, Max. You saw what happened. There wasn't any of me left. It was all Moses and Ben and Lucas and Gwen. It hurt so much. I hurt so many people. Help me fix it. Please.
Also, there is a little bit of a misconception that I've seen, like, I've seen that people don't really understand is, because this scene pretty much, like, closes that circle is that it was never Max in the picture with the gun. Which, one of the very few things that Double Exposure is very clear about is that it is Max in the photo with the gun. Because when Max goes into a photograph, she goes into that past version of herself. And when she goes into the photograph, she goes into the Max that's holding the gun. So that's 100% is Max. And it is Max that did kill Safi at the beginning of the game. What you're witnessing here is technically the reasoning for why Max killed Safi at the beginning of the game. So the implication is that Safi's powers do eventually run out of control, and to stop it, Safi is the one that has Max kill her. So in that version of events that happened, that is what happened. So Max did kill Safi at the end of the day. And this whole sequence here is pretty much like filling you in on understanding why Max had to shoot Safi in the first place. But obviously here there's going to be a different twist here.
That's what it feels.
Because instead of instead of shooting Safi, this version of Max ends up just throwing the gun at the tornado. Hey. Hey, what's going on?
I have no idea. Kind of making this up as I go.
And Max's statement of excuse me, of kind of making it up as she goes, kind of is what a lot of people felt like Double Exposure was doing towards the end of the game, is that it kind of really felt like they were kind of making things up like right at the end as they kind of went along. So I always find it funny that Max has that line there. And it's like, yeah, Max, I think a lot of the people that played the game, that's exactly what they're feeling is happening with what they're seeing.
I'm not gonna make another impossible choice between two shitty futures. Come on.
Plus them going into the tornado was definitely a choice. But in any event, so they go into the tornado, and then it's gonna be a while before you have any scenes with Safi at this point, because now you kind of have to find her now. So first we end up finding what was it, Diamond, and then we go through the door, and then we end up on the observatory rooftop from the beginning of the game, and we find Moses, who is pretty much saying Safi lines. And then we pretty much have to do the double exposure thing on Moses, so that way we could proceed. There is a very bad line delivery from Safi's voice actor in this next section here. Mainly because the line reading sticks out so much because of how good her performances have been before this scene and after it. So it makes this section stick out so much because it's like you couldn't do another take Like, why did you go with this take? Because this take was not great.
When a door closes.
A window opens.
Same exact words.
What? Where? This isn't Caledon. This is Blackwell.
I do appreciate how they were able to recreate the iconic bathroom from the original game and update it here. And everything is pretty much in the exact places that they need to be. So, very big kudos for them to be able to recreate all this in the new in their like new engine and all that stuff.
Academy. Chloe was shot here. I listened to it happen. You don't know who the fuck I am or who you're messing around with. What is it, Dad? What are you doing? Chloe! Come on, put that thing down! Don't ever tell me what to do. I'm so sick of people trying to control me.
You are going to get in hella more trouble for this than drugs.
Nobody would ever even miss your punk ass, would they?
Get that gun away from me, psycho!
No!
Yeah, they should have really did another take with Safi there, because she sounds like she's reading the script and not actually like acting. So that was pretty pretty awkward oversight there. But other than that, she her acting is fine. As I said, before this and after this, Safi was performed fine. It's just that one scene just sticks out because of how bland that sounded. Like I said, it sounded like she was just reading the script and not actually acting. So from here we get your whole finding Lucas bit and whatnot, because we have to do the Lucas thing, and then you have your little nightmare thing with the dark room and having to sit in the chair again and trying to get out of the chair. Well, getting yourself out of the chair. And then you have little Nightmare Lucas here reciting Jefferson's lines from the original game. Which, to be fair, I understand why they had what was it, Lucas saying these lines, because Jefferson was a teacher, Lucas is a teacher. They both did like really, you know, things that caused the death of one of their students and stuff like that. Like, I get that. But at the same time, it's like, Lucas is bad. But there's no way he's on the same level as Jefferson, though. So kind of making him, like, kind of putting him on that level is not great. I wouldn't wish Lucas being on that level at all. Which, to be fair, let me see. Oh. That means he's probably going to go up a little bit. Alright, so we get rid of the Lucas thing. Then we do the Gwen thing. With the repeating motel room again. Okay, so we got... Okay, here we go.
And we're back outside the school.
Ooh, excuse me. Oh, there we go. So we're back with Safi again.
I will say, during the bathroom sequence,
Did I do it?
impersonating Finn's
Don't hate
lines
me yet.
was pretty
Time.
really. Her reciting was the shot.
All the king's horses, all the king's
Oh,
men.
they probably could have
I've got
Put me back together again.
pictures. False modesty is annoying.
very what's the word?
If
It
everybody
just felt very
forgetting I tried to rip
that
out your soul.
that voice line felt very
Let's see. Because now she sounds very, because Safi's trying to be more kind of remorseful in a way. In this scene, she sounds like remorseful. But when we skip ahead to here, things start getting a little awkward and weird.
But I just tore everybody apart into tiny little pieces. You didn't mean to.
yeah, well,
Are you sure?
technically her powers were going
I
out of
didn't
control, so yeah,
not.
that's
Mean to.
technically true.
Maya isn't any less dead.
It's not like she didn't.
Everybody
she
I cared about still
didn't mean
betrayed
to
me.
do that, so.
My mom. I'll never be different.
Because I'm pretty sure if she
I
knew,
think the best thing would be
if she knew her powers could do that, she
Being brave.
probably would have used that to make
I don't belong here.
to make people like
Don't say
Lucas and
that.
Finn and
Of course you do.
Gwen like more
After your hometown got whirlwind.
like suffer more if she knew she could do
What
something
did
like
you do?
that at the time.
I ran away. way stronger than I ever was.
I don't know about that.
Don't say that about yourself. You have it wrong. People like you and me, we don't belong at some B-tier liberal arts university with a bunch of washed-up bloggers ready to knife each other for tenure. We're fucking divine. Come on. I'm serious. The shit that we can do, gods can do that stuff. Or monsters. You can say whatever you want about the choices you made, but you aren't a monster. You're my friend. I hurt people, and I fixed it. We can fix it. Together.
Hopefully you can see how the bipolarness that she's literally going through. She goes from being remorseful 1 minute, starts talking about how since they have powers, they're like divinely better than everybody. And then goes back to being like, well, I hurt people though. And it's like, girl, pick a lane. What are we doing? She doesn't know where the fuck she wants to go. Thankfully, she does pick a lane by the end, though. Okay, so the only point of this scene is that they get the last piece of herself out. And then she comes back, and then here, Safi decides to just leave and whatnot. And then pretty much goes into, freaks out her mother. And then finally picks a lane with this whole bit.
Cause
You can make her forget she saw that, right? Better yet.
but it is shown later in the comics that
Undo button on life, Max.
that they
Why not
can
use it?
technically use that they can technically
If you
use
think that's how
that
it works,
the person can
you don't know
technically
anything.
use their powers and it
There's
affect
always
Max.
price.
But the downside is because she also has powers, they have to actively
You're right.
strain themselves a lot
Got a
more
lot to learn.
to make their
teach me
powers work
this coffee.
with her around, with her
You
there.
said we could fix everything together.
So,
Safi.
because that person
I have,
also has like
I have
nosebleeds and stuff when they
in
have to
every life.
overly strain their
Everybody.
powers
I'm
also.
gonna find other people like
So,
us. People with
which is another
powers.
thing that
I spent my
as to
whole
why,
life thinking I was the only
when
one,
Safi's powers were going out of
knowing I could
control
never
and stuff,
tell anyone because they would look at me like
Safi
that.
was getting nosebleeds also. Because that's
Another
another thing
thing.
that the comics
You and me,
went with.
time traveler.
Because in Life is Strange too,
shapeshifter.
Daniel never had
Imagine what we
like
could
a big
do.
strained power moment
And who
like that.
cares if I'm
So
a
you never
silly
saw
little
Daniel
girl
like
whose
have a
mom used to
nosebleed
show
or
her how the
anything like
world
that.
works? Because now
And technically neither
It
did
works
Alex in True Colors
however
either.
I want
So
it to.
so prior to
Stay here.
prior to the
Your
comics
job,
and
life,
this game,
whatever
people with
irresistible
powers,
glory Caledon could offer.
all the people with powers didn't really
But I
have
have to know.
nosebleeds when there was like
When I come back,
stress. Technically only
are you
Max
going to stand with
that
me,
was a
Max?
thing with, but the comics did
Are we in this
did
together?
a different thing, and then this game took that and went with it a
Or is
little bit
everything
more.
you said in the storm just words?
Now the gaslighting there, the gaslighting there
Going
with the
her or
whole
not.
With the thing with words and all that stuff, and then now Safi with her whole power trip that she's going on. So now she finally picked the lane, and now instead of being remorseful about really what she's doing, now she just went full on, oh, there's other people with superpowers, so now I want to go find more people and presumably make maybe friends, but considering Safi and the route she's going in, I think she would go a little bit on the more darker, like, end of that spectrum. Like, I think Safi, it would depend on on who she meets and what their powers are, would kind of determine what Safi would technically do. Because she already is trying to recruit Max, pretty much. Especially now, since she knows, like, the type of powers that she has. And pretty much what they can do. So now she more so has a mindset of, from what I see, she has the mindset of, Max, you have all of these, like, powers. We should just, like, abuse the powers we have at this point. Which to be fair, excuse me, depending on Daniel, on your actions with Daniel and what you teach him and what you, like, let him do or not let him do and things like that. He can be pretty much like the biggest, like, villain. So Safi kind of taking this darker path isn't really outside the realm of possibility. But it's also weird. It's also, like, a thing where you can't really change Safi's opinion, no matter what, kind of how much sense you're trying to talk into her. She pretty much just goes in that direction anyway, regardless of what choices you made during her, I guess you could call them like a counseling session that you were trying to do for her, but she just goes in this direction regardless, so it's kind of an awkward moment. So either way, she, whether you agree or not, with excuse me, which here I did agree during this playthrough. During this playthrough, I did agree, and that's mostly because what a lot of people reasoned for accepting her offer is, excuse me, is that maybe Max can still have a chance to kind of steer her on the right path, which doesn't really matter anyway, because this is pretty much the end of the game and Safi just leaves. Like, regardless of what you excuse me, what you choose, she leaves regardless. So it's like, all right, whatever. And then from here you have like your little wrap up moment with everybody. And then, what was it? Safi appears in the little, after credits scene here, where, excuse me, where Diamond has some powers for whatever reason. Presumably, we'll find out, maybe, in the next game where, what Diamond's powers is and where this goes. Because, Diamond is technically, Safi's first recruit. Obviously, depending on whether Max accepts her offer or not, Diamond would be, like, the first recruit. And then, as always, we get the... Well, not as always, but for this, we get the Avengers, Max Caulfield will return line. So, whatever the next game is most likely gonna be another Max game. And how much the next game is gonna follow up on anything that has happened in this game remains to be seen. But back to Safi. Where are you? Oh, there you are. So after that little rundown with her, Safi, I will put in. I'll put Safi in. Yeah, I'll put her in C tier. Right behind Victoria. Mainly because at least Victoria gets, depending on the choices you make with her, Victoria actually gets a somewhat of a redemption like arc there, as opposed to Safi, where her bipolarness of do you want to be redeemed and kind of like earn people's trust back and stuff like that, or do you want to be like a like leader of like a group of superheroes to do who knows what with. So the fact that she flip-flops between those two like so much, and then by the end she settles on, okay, I want to be the leader of a superpowered group and do I don't know with. Um Hopefully she just wants to meet some superpowered people and have a fun little gathering of a little community and share stories and make some fun friends together. Hopefully that's what she wants to do. But judging from her tone and her delivery and how her body language and everything, it definitely comes off more sinister than anything else. So it's like, all right, whatever, up in the air. So I am not exactly 100% on board with Safi, really. Especially uh, that once you finish off the whole exposing Lucas with the plagiarism and all that stuff, once you finish all of that, and you like piece Safi back together, she kind of starts to like push all that to the side, and that all becomes kind of irrelevant. And she's all gung ho on like, yo, Max, join me so we can form like a superpower team. And maybe do a bunch of questionable things. So that's really awkward. Okay. So, So since we're kind of knocking out the villains, let's go with the duo. Let's do Jefferson and Nathan. And we'll start with Nathan. So, Nathan has very clear mental issues. So he's a very big mentally disturbed person and is clearly not getting any help, which he does not want. But the main reason he does not want any help is because of his father, and his father wanting him not to show any weaknesses. So if Nathan would get help, like legitimate help for whatever mental issues that he is dealing with, it will not go well for his dad. For his dad to find out. Because there is a specific no, let me back out here. Let me do it this way, because it'll be a lot easier this way. Ooh, excuse me. It's not chapter 3. It's not chapter 1. It's chapter 2. Where is it? It's the Tempest scene. It's when you're in the Tempest area. Okay, here we are. Now we're backstage at the Tempest. Because it's this part here.
Nathan, please.
I can't do it, Dad. I'm sorry.
Keep your voice down. Now listen to me.
Nathan's dad looks like he's really laying into him. I wonder what it's about.
You don't understand. They all hate me. They're just gonna laugh at me.
Why do you suppose that is?
I don't know.
Because you show weakness. Just like you're doing right now.
Dad?
When will you learn that this isn't about you and your problems? This is about the Prescott name. My name. You will not embarrass me. Nathan.
Yes.
Good. Now. Break a leg. I'll see you after the show.
Great pep talk, Mr. P. Everyone knows the best way to instill confidence in someone is by intimidating them.
I don't know who you are, but mind your own business.
I'd love to. Don't you have, like, a
a private bunker filled with gold coins where you could have these conversations?
You gotta love the bunker line. Little foreshadowing from the first game, huh?
Nathan.
Fuck!
And then you actually, depending on certain choices you made, specifically, if you, uh, if you, got Samantha to not, mess around with Nathan, if you let that relation, if you did not encourage that relationship and had Samantha like not mess with Nathan, then you would get this scene in the hospital. You would get this little hidden thing. If you go to the back room here, that's beyond Rachel's room, because Rachel's room is right here. If you go over here to the room that's right in front of Rose, you would get this little interaction. Well, not interaction. You would be able to overhear this conversation.
Why has my son been assigned to you? I never authorized that he be seen.
I was assigned because Nathan was becoming quite upset.
So they sent a psychiatrist. Because my son was upset.
Holy shit.
Please, Mr. Prescott, your son needs serious
My
psychiatric...
son needs nothing from you. He put down a couple of bullies who were harassing him at school. That is all.
Sir, I believe your son...
I'm so relieved that Rachel's awake.
Serious and
I should see her right away.
Allow me the chance.
Nathan's already getting more than enough attention from one of you. I am fed up with these made-up problems.
Well, there you go. You got obviously, there you go. Nathan trying to get either he's trying to get some help or there's help being being kind of forced on him because of how much of a red flag some of his behavior has been. So, and obviously, as you hopefully were able to hear, Nathan's dad, Sean, doesn't believe any of it, and as you can hear and hopefully was able to hear, excuse me, and hopefully able to read from the subtitles, his dad doesn't believe that Nathan has any real issues and is just brushing it off and, quote, made up problems. So yeah, there's that. Which would lead to the whole Rachel and the overdosing of her, which would lead to her dying and stuff, and then having to hide Rachel's body and bury it somewhere where, you know, people wouldn't find it, and it would be linked back to, like, Nathan and Jefferson and whatnot. So we obviously can't have that. They did give you a a kind of a redemption arc for Nathan. I say kind of, because he technically doesn't go through one. They kind of shoehorn one in the final episode. Specifically, when you're in the car and you're leaving to try to get to the diner. Because you have this scene, which does this scene have any audio to it? Or did this audio get muted? Let's see.
Where David was actually supposed to take Max to get to the diner.
Okay,
you could actually see remnants of that sequence that got cut, because there's a concept art of her in, like, hospital gown and stuff.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt Kate or Rachel or I didn't want to hurt anybody. Everybody used me. Mr. Jefferson, it's coming for me now. All this shit will be over soon. Watch out, Max. He wants to hurt you next. Sorry.
And that moment.
Specifically, that video call, well, not video call, that voice message that Nathan sent, technically didn't originally exist. The original developers, when they were going through the last episode, they were like, wait, we didn't, with the whole big reveal with what really happens and everything, and the whole Jefferson thing, where, like, we didn't have the time and everything to give Nathan kind of a redemption, like, arc. So this is what they came up with to kind of give him that, is this voice message that he leaves Max, hoping that she can get the message. But unfortunately for him, by the time the message that by the time the message Max is able to listen to it, everything that happened in the dark room and everything has already happened. She was already caught, all that stuff. So even though he tried, it didn't entirely work. But thankfully, Max was able to get herself out of the situation. So at the very least, Nathan tried. But yeah, he did not succeed in the way that he wanted to. So that was very, unfortunate. So, because maybe if Max got his message sooner, then most likely Max wouldn't have gotten caught. And Chloe wouldn't have gotten shot in the head. So that would have helped. Would have helped a lot, but yeah. So we will put Nathan in I'll say we put him towards the bottom of C tier. Only because, like I said, he does try, in the end, to try to turn things around. And he is very, very, very guilt-ridden over the whole Rachel situation. So he is he's definitely a prime example of everyone around him pretty much failed him pretty much. Because he could have been helped, but everyone around him either just manipulated his problems, or like in his father's case, just point blank just denied there was even that a problem even existed to begin with. So, that definitely goes for that. Let's see. And obviously, since we were dealing with Nathan, now we have to get to the final big villain that we still have to go on this list. And that is Mr. Mark Jefferson himself. And we all should know, like, definitely why he's here. Nathan's manipulator, and the real mastermind behind the dark room and all that stuff. Pretty much, he was using the Everyday Heroes contest that he was heavily encouraging Max to go in to put in an entry for, as a sick audition in his mind for who his next victim for the dark room was going to be. Which is why Victoria, who wins the Everyday Heroes competition because Max doesn't excuse me. Max doesn't hand in a photo, so Victoria ends up winning because Max doesn't submit anything, so she kind of wins by default. So that's pretty much how that goes. But let's see. And one of the biggest misconceptions, excuse me, about Jefferson is he was not a murderer before the events of the original game happened. So all the women's names and stuff that he has in the binders and stuff, all of them, for the most part, obviously Rachel is the one exception, are technically alive, because remember, Jefferson already had his session in the dark room with Kate before the events of the game even happened. So if he was all about killing his victims, then why is Kate even alive at the beginning of the game to begin with? So Jefferson. So Jefferson only really became a murderer because of Max learning the truth and pretty much doing her investigation with Chloe and all that stuff. So because she was teach, you know, all the stuff she knows and the people she was telling, that's pretty much why she Jefferson pretty much resorted to murder by the end of the game. Because obviously he kills Nathan. Because obviously he can't keep because in his own words he couldn't keep him around after what happened to Rachel, so he was I guess waiting for the right moment to get rid of him. Because obviously he still needed Nathan around because he was grooming Nathan to be the fall guy. Because if Jefferson was ever found out, everything would be pinned on Nathan. Everything would be tracked back to him. So, because Nathan, well, specifically Nathan's money is what paid for the dark room itself to be built in the first place, and the equipment that the dark room has, and the drugs and stuff that are used. Like Nathan got all that stuff. So Nathan is entirely on the paper trail. So obviously Jefferson wanted to keep to make sure he was completely clean of everything. Which is also why in the dark room he's always has gloves on. So he's never directly touching anything in the dark room. So he is very thorough in making sure he does not leave like evidence of himself around. So and he also pretty much tells Max, he pretty much tells Max by the end of the game that he will probably, well, this all depends on if Kate's alive by that point, that he may pay Kate another visit, which is obviously pretty much pretty much implying that he's going to kill her after after he kills Max. But obviously we never give him the opportunity to do any of that because we get David to show up and save the day. So I believe it's safe to say that Jefferson is definitely going to be all the way at the bottom of F tier. Obviously, because he is the only villain in any of these games that actually has a body count. And it's a body count that he has regardless of what you choose. So there's no like ambiguity with like this only happens if you have if you did certain choices or not. It's like, no. He will have a body count no matter what you choose, pretty much. Because depending on the ending you get, he is 100% responsible for Nathan being dead. And he is indirectly responsible for the Rachel issue. Because technically Nathan was the one that did the whole Rachel thing. So there's that. So with that, I believe that's all the villains done, and that's all of the double exposure people out the way. Well, the side people. And now we will go to, let's see. We will dive into the let's see if we can at the very least do Steph and Alex. So let's see, at the very least we can get these two out the way. So first off, we'll start with Steph. So, before the storm, Steph, we will, excuse me, I will immediately put in, let's see, right out the gate, we are going to put Steph at, we're going to put before the storm Steph at the top of A tier. Because she makes such a positive impression in the game that it is very endearing in so many ways. Especially Katie Benz's performance as Steph immediately just like draws you in. Like it immediately gives you that that like welcoming like personality that you pretty much just want to be around, which is really really cool and really really heartwarming in so many ways. And especially depending on the choices you make, you can play D&D with her twice. So obviously the first time at in the front yard of Blackwell when you're getting your pirated Blade Runner DVD from her. And then later at the hospital in episode 3, if Mikey is the one that's in the hospital. So you have to specifically choose to have Mikey be the one with the broken arm in the hospital to be able to do the D&D session in the 3rd episode. So there's that. And hopefully Bao does not get mad that Steph pushed Lila down, that Steph put herself ahead of Lila now. So hopefully there's no hard feelings there. And also, Before the Storm Steph is very upfront with Chloe about her intentions with Rachel, which is pretty cool. Cause, ooh, excuse me, where is it? No, this is the mill. Where is... No, this is talking to Skip and Elliot. Talking to Samantha, talking to Victoria. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Elite dream sequence. Dream life over real life. That's my motto.
Right on.
Hey, do you know if Rachel's a gamer? Rachel Amber? You're asking me? Didn't you two go out last night, or was it just like a friend thing? Why do you want to know?
Steph has a crush.
Well, considering how much attention Rachel gets from everyone, that's not surprising at all.
50.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why the video came out all blurry like that. But I do like that. Unfortunately, you're not able to see it because for some reason the video is all blurry, which is weird. Steph has a funny little scowl that scowling face that she makes towards Mikey when she when he says that Steph has a crush on Rachel, which is pretty adorable and funny. And then we have where is it? Here we go, chapter 2. And what was it? Oh, here we go. Then you have this little conversation with Steph,
If I had enough money.
which is also pretty
Welcome to
pretty sweet.
Another moment. Thing.
Okay, there she
no,
is.
besides Rachel.
There you go. Okay.
Hey, Steph.
Whoa. Hey, Calamastia.
Surprised to see me on parole?
I told you Wells was out to get you. That text was a rare courtesy, by the way. I don't normally get involved in other people's dumb decisions.
Thanks for trying, but skipping yesterday was totally worth it.
Skipping with Rachel Amber does have an appeal.
Well, yeah.
So, what are you doing here?
Hold on, get to the...
What's...
Stage manager. Honest?
Okay, after the talking about the play...
Yeah, well, I'll see you later.
Oh, hey.
There we go.
I wanted to ask you something.
Shoot.
I've been planning to make a move on Rachel, but not if you two were together.
Make a move?
So, are you? I mean, that's Rachel's business. or maybe yours in Rachel's business, but if you feel comfortable telling me.
You think we're together?
It looks to me like you've got a thing for her, and maybe she has a thing for you. And I wouldn't.
Well, she
wanna
clearly
get in
did
the
have a
way.
thing.
I don't know. It's confusing.
I can imagine. You ever want to talk to me, Chloe? You know you can, right?
I'll see you later, Steph.
Have fun storming the castle.
So, that is pretty fun for Steph and whatnot with and how she immediately is setting up her like her intentions like immediately, like right off the bat. And as soon as, if you're going into the Rachel route, then Steph is upfront about it and is pretty much like, I see that maybe you guys are, you know, getting closer, so let me take myself out of this and I pretty much concede that, like, okay, if you two are gonna be together, then I'm not even gonna get in between you two. I'm not gonna get in between you two. So Steph is definitely always gets massive points for that, for being like very understanding and stuff, and it's like, okay, like, yeah, I might like Rachel, but clearly it seems like Rachel and you have a thing going on. So I'm not going to insert myself into that. And, you know, all the drama and stuff that can cause and everything. So Steph was pretty much like, I'm not even gonna get involved in, I'm not even gonna be the one to start all that stuff, so I am gonna bow myself out and call it a day. As far as her potential relationship with Rachel would be. But yeah. But pretty nice nice moments for her. Especially setting up how upfront she is and how caring she is, because she's instead of her own feelings, prioritizing her own feelings as far as Rachel goes, she's taking Rachel's feelings into consideration and Chloe's feelings into consideration. So she's, you know, willing to you know, make sure that, well, as far as Chloe goes, putting her friend's feelings first in this regard. Because at this point, it's it's not entirely clear in Before the Storm how much Rachel and Steph even know each other. So it's very vague in that regard. So it's kind of it is a very adult way that Steph handles that whole situation, which is 100% great for her. That is and I believe it's like moments like that and the fun moments that she gets with the whole D&D thing and the whole D&D thing and the performance and everything, that definitely made the character memorable enough that that Deck 9 would take her and then bring her back for True Colors and really expand on Steph herself as a character. And also making her an actual romance option. So for all the people that wanted Steph as a romance option, True Colors would give that to you. So I 100% am on board with all of that decision to bring her back. And immediately, I will put True Colors Steph in S tier. So finally, Kate gets some company because she's been sitting up here in S tier for way too long by herself. So now she has some company. So let's see. Also with I would also mention as a little side note, the Steph Story novel, which is pretty much a prequel of Steph's of what Steph was doing before the events of True Colors, like in between True Colors and the original Life is Strange and Before the Storm. So pretty much filling in that big gap there. which was pretty much her relationship with Izzy down here. So that whole thing is very was also really, really good. Oh, excuse me. And as a quick little side note, we will also put. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. What was it? Comic book, Steph. We'll put her, right below Before the Storm Steph. And that's only because, the Forget Me Not comic book is, like, really short. It's only, like, 4 issues long. So there's not a lot for Steph really to do. But it is carrying over the character development that Steph went through in Before the Storm and in True Colors and everything. But because there's not really a lot for Steph to do in such a short comic run, then, you know, she gets a little bit of a hit on that one. Not a very big hit, because it's still a character that that developed from True Colors, because the Forget Me Not comic book is a continuation, a possible continuation of the original of True Colors. So there is that. So that is definitely a thing, a very positive thing, mind you. Who else? Oh, excuse me. Who else do we have here? Who? Oh, and the Heatwave novels. The Heatwave novel of the Life is Strange Heatwave novel does give Steph a lot more to do. So that would also, like, you know, help with Steph's character and bumping that up more. And obviously the Wavelengths DLC was also good for Steph's character development. Specifically the fall section with her, like, reliving the Arcadia Bay issues and stuff, with Arcadia Bay and all the trauma that depending on your choices that she would be dealing with, which would either be if Chloe is dead, it would be over Rachel and Chloe's death. And if Chloe's alive, it would specifically be over her mother dying in the Arcadia Bay tornado at the end of the original game. So that's how that would go. Let's see. Which is a really good good scene, which did I do? Because I did the Wavelengths DLC first. Okay. I will say a little side thing about the Wavelengths DLC is I wish it was like the Farewell DLC, where even if you haven't beaten the main game, you could still play it. Cause the Farewell DLC, you could play it whether you finish the main game or not. But with Wavelengths here, you're forced to go through the main game to even be able to play the Wavelengths DLC at all. Which I find pretty kind of annoying. Especially since the Wavelength DLC is a prequel to the events of the main True Colors story, because it's covering Steph's what Steph was doing within the 1 year before Alex comes in. So it's kind of disappointing that you can't go into Wavelengths without beating the main game of True Colors first. Like, that's kind of disappointing, because it's not like Wavelengths is like really spoiling anything. So it's like if this DLC was like an after story or something, then that would make sense. But since it's a prequel, it's like, why the restriction? Kind of seems like a needless restriction on that one. Oh, there we go. So we also get our fun little cameos in the Wavelengths DLC.
Check out all these booths pretending they give a shit about us for one. It's a the year.
I know.
About us for 1 month out of.
Okay, hold on.
Check out all these booths pretending they give a shit about us for 1 month out of the year.
I know.
Come on, it's hilarious. We care so much, we made our logo into a rainbow.
We're committed to hassling everyone, straight or gay.
Would you two ladies like to become proud new credit card holders?
I'm gonna go mess with her.
No, don't. Chloe, I swear to God.
Guess that's everything.
Okay, and where's the fall section? Is it this one? I think it is this one. Is it? Yes, because it's Halloween. And then we get the Chloe shirt cameo. And then we get the little flashbacks that would that Steph would have. Like this.
Mom? The whole town is rubble. It'll hit our house soon. I'm taking shelter, but I love you, okay? Mom! Mom!
And then oh yeah, and then I have to do the ad reads. And then here we go, we set up some stuff with Mikey. And then we have a fun little tabletop game with him. I do like this whole interaction and stuff that she has with Mikey in this scene. Is really cool. Especially this little cameo that you get in this scene.
I need to check my notes.
Hey, take your time.
We playing or not? Shh, Wells is coming.
Penis!
I think Chloe and Rachel are playing their own game.
No. Pass me the nerd dice.
The what?
Pass me the D20, D10, and D4, please.
Sure thing.
I'm gonna bash this Hydra's head in with its other heads.
You got this.
Everything okay?
Just some memories.
Good memory or bad memory?
Is there a difference?
I know what you mean. Sometimes
It is
the
nice
most painful memories
that,
are from before all this shit went down.
I wasted
That
so
at
much
least-
time being jealous of Chloe and Rachel. Whatever they had, I thought it was perfect.
And now?
feel so fucking guilty that I spent even 1 second being anything but appreciative that they were in my life. Even the people I didn't like, I didn't have to be so, I don't know, judgmental, I guess.
Just because they're gone now doesn't change who they were. You really think you did anything wrong?
I didn't do anything right.
You ever talk to Chloe?
No, I hear she's off the radar like me. The two wandering weirdos.
Look, Steph, what you're feeling...
I'm fine. Come on, let's keep playing.
Yeah, so those, this whole section and stuff, like, obviously definitely puts, does a lot to elevate, Steph, like, really up here. Because, well, True Colors Steph, I would also count the wavelengths stuff also in this. So, well, with this version of Steph, with True Colors stuff, I would count the wavelength stuff with her. So, so that's always a plus. So let's see. Who else do we have? Let's go with... Let's go with... I think... Let me see. Hold on a minute. Real quick. Let me see. Okay. So I think we will I think we will leave the list like this for now, and then in the next part of this video, of this video series, we will tackle Alex right out the gate. In the next video, we'll tackle Alex. So for now, this is pretty much where we are. We definitely got a couple of people done. We got all the rest of the double exposure characters done. We got Lucas down here. We got Yasmin over here. We got Safi over here. Excuse me. And then we got Nathan here. Jefferson all the way down here like he should be. And last but not least, we went through the different variations of Steph here. So, and then we ranked all of these variations of Steph. So I think we did pretty well. I'm hurt by what I came back and I'm hurt by what I'm seeing. Bow, I kinda figured you would what? That you're mad. I get it. You're mad that Steph is above Lila. I get it. I called it earlier that you would probably be upset. But hey, she's it's just that, you know, Steph is very hard to compete against. So what? You didn't like Steph? You didn't like Steph? Come on. It's very hard not to like Steph. Like, come on. Let's be honest now. Well, I think one thing that has been very clear across a bunch of the latest videos that in this series that we've been doing is definitely Bao's love for Lila. Their love for Lila is very strong, clearly. Nah, I'm just based. Well, have you played like True Colors and Before the Storm for Steph or no? You said maybe, maybe not. Well, Steph does have a lot of really fun moments. So, unfortunately, yet again, Lila's problem is she's not in the game enough. She sets a very good first impression, but unfortunately, she's not utilized to her best potential, we should say. As opposed to Steph here, who who is in Before the Storm and who is in True Colors pretty much the whole game. And she also is in a short comic book mini-series. So, and she's in like 2 novels that she's primarily like one of them. Well, in one novel, she's the main focus. And then in the other novel, she's the main supporting character. So there's just a lot more of Steph that's around that we can pretty much draw from. So that's the thing. If Lila was in in a lot more of the game, then maybe she would have had a lot stronger of a chance. But for me, the main issue for Life is Strange 2 as a whole is a lot of wasted potential. Like, there was a lot of things in Life is Strange 2 and a lot of characters in Life is Strange 2 that would have been very interesting, but because of how they formatted the whole story and everything, it just didn't really go anywhere. No, but that's the thing though. That's the thing though. You could have wrote in that she was such good friends with Sean and Daniel that she would run away and like try to find Sean and Daniel, meet up with them, like find out where they are, go to them or something. Like you could have wrote in a way for her to get into the story, you know, so that way she can be around more. Cause remember, aside from the beginning of the first episode, every other interaction you have with Lila is just on the phone. And those phone calls are entirely optional. Like, you could totally, like, miss them or not even do them. So, unfortunately, because how the story was written and structured and everything, Lila just doesn't have a lot to really have her compete with a lot of the more high tier, heavy hitting characters. Cause now we're getting into the more heavy hitters now. We're getting into the heavy hitters now, so Lila is gonna be getting some stiff competition now. So a lot of her competition is starting to show up. So it's gonna be hard for her to. Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm not the one to be very sad about. You gotta go talk to Dotnod. They were the ones that could have given her more significant screen time. I'm just working with what they gave me. And unfortunately, if they don't give me a lot, then unfortunately I can't make up scenarios. I didn't mean to send you curled up in your blanket like that. You're like half asleep in your blanket. Oh, well, at least you're nice and cozy. I would hope you're nice and cozy at the very least. I would hope that's the case. Ah, come on. But yeah. So as I was saying, um uh so we got all of this done so far, and then we have pretty much all of these big heavy hitters left to go. I say some big heavy hitters, but there's a couple in here that are gonna be pretty quick to talk about. So there's still some characters. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, sometimes sometimes YouTube be weird like that sometimes. I don't know what the issue is sometimes. Cuz I was even scrolling through earlier when I was talking about Steph and breaking that down. When I went to one of my videos to look for a particular scene and stuff that I was talking about, for some reason the video like got really blurry at a point, and I'm like, I don't know why it's like that, because I didn't Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes some of these apps kind of have their weird moments where they kind of like act up a little bit. It's kind of it's kind of one of those things where it's like, hey, what can you do, right? It's like, all right, whatever. But yeah. So in the so as we're wrapping things up here and winding things a little down, we excuse me. In the next video, we will start with Alex in the next video. So we'll start with a big heavy hitter right out the gate. And then from there, we'll see where the stream will take us after that. And hopefully I will sound a lot better and feel a lot better. So, as always, I'm JR, and I hope I will catch you all in the next one. Later.